Hello, this is Cynthia Sue Larson with RealityShifters.com, and I got a question this month which wasn't asked by just one person. Actually, 3 different people asked me the same question within a half-hour period. And I have to tell you, when that happens, it gets my attention, and I always ask for messages to come to me in threes. So when something like this occurs, I know that it's not just these 3 people that have the question. And one person wrote the question beautifully, and I'll just read it to you. I have a topic I would like to see covered in your blog. Over the past few months, I've noticed what is happening to me in life is not going along with my thoughts and actions. There's been a lot of incredibly horrible things happening to me, and I'm trying to figure out why. I haven't done anything I can think of that would lead me down the path I went through. After everything I've gone through, I'm one shade above feeling hopeless. It used to feel like the world was mine to conquer. All I had to do was think and make it so. Now it's almost like it takes a lot more thinking and thought processes to get things going. When they do start, it's like I'm slammed back down to step 1 again, and I have to struggle back up again. It keeps happening. These are not thoughts I was having, just observations I'm making. My question is, the person asks, is there something going on in the universe right now that is making reality shifting much more difficult? Is there any advice you can give to any of us out here who are really struggling just to survive, or even want to survive? I feel like an alien displaced from its planet, or a fish out of water. This doesn't feel right at all anymore. That's a beautiful question, and yes, there is something going on. I think most of you know we're in the year 2012, of course, but what I'm noticing is reality shifts are happening a lot more frequently, and that's not necessarily a good thing if we don't have, and I mean culturally as well as just we as individuals, have all of our shadow issues pretty much in line. It's not that we have to have all of our inner housekeeping perfect. You might still have some fears, some regrets, some worries. The trouble is when these fears, regrets, worries, and anger and hostility come bubbling up and almost have a life of their own, then they can definitely interfere with what we're doing and what we're creating. And in both my books, Aura Advantage and Reality Shifts, I've got some tips on this. The first one I want to discuss is Aura Advantage, because in here there's a whole chapter on attracting what you most desire and going through pretty much chakra by chakra to determine what it is that you can do to rebalance yourself so that even when you're surrounded with difficult circumstances, challenging times, and I don't know another way to put it, but just when the collective consciousness is so full of shadow issues, which I think is what we're really seeing a lot of with economic crisis, environmental crisis, pretty much everywhere we look. There's no free lunch anymore. It's not like the idyllic paradise that it can be. But that paradise is still here on Earth. It's still ours to recognize, to honor, to respect, and to walk into. And so the way we do that is, I'll just read the 6 things that are in Aura Advantage. They're real quick. Energize dreams instead of fantasies. That means don't buy into things just because you saw it on TV or you think you should have it. Get out of your own way. That means there's a part of you that has an inner knowingness, and you can really find and follow that. Listen to your chakras. This means you've got body wisdom at every level of your being, and you really can tune into that. Makes a huge difference when you do. Expect what you most desire. This is critical. You really need to get a lock on where you're going. Don't ever think about plan B or C or D or what if everything goes wrong. You really need to just start expecting and having faith that what you need is yours. Start with something small you can believe in. And there are lots of tips in Aura Advantage. Number 5, appreciate every moment. And that, of course, is gratitude. And number 6, do something nice for someone. And that gets it into the active. So you're not just thinking and sitting on the sofa and occasionally slipping into regret and blame and so forth. But you know you're a good person because you're doing good things in the world. But in addition to those, because we're in such amazing times, I'd like to address 4 more things you can do that I think are uniquely tailored to 2012 and what we're going through. The first one is know you are loved, and it's so important. I've been reading a book by Viktor Frankl recently, and it's all about man's search for meaning. And that's a key to happiness, is to have that sense of meaning. But we don't really get that sense of meaning if we don't feel Like, we are worthy at our core. And I think a lot of us can get lost when we orient ourselves incorrectly without remembering first to keep that connection with the divine between you and the divine at all times. And if you're not religious or spiritual, think of it as oneness. It's still the same thing. It's just that sense that everything is connected. We know this is true in physics. So start to feel it in your heart. Feel that you're worthy. Feel that there's no accident that you're here. And the next one I'd like to cover, and these are all covered in my blog on WordPress if you want to see the details, is breathe deeply to your Dantian. This is just your core, basically. So you can breathe to it by putting your hand so the thumb is resting on the belly button, the palm is just beneath, and when you breathe in, you can actually feel that you're actually expanding that chakra area, the area of your core can just go out the way babies breathe, getting back to that deep baby kind of breathing that we first had when we were young. It restores our energy center. And usually when we're stressed, we breathe shallowly. We forget to do that deep breathing, and we miss out on a lot of energy that could otherwise be ours. And so we lose a lot of our vitality and our zest for living. The third thing that you can do of the four things that are very special for 2012, let go of your regrets. You really need to do this because if you keep carrying them forward into your future, you're doing yourself and everyone around you a grave disservice. You're locking in a certain particular past. Now this, if you watch all my videos, then you know I like to talk about bicausality, retrocausality. We actually do affect both our future and our past. When you're looking back at your past, what you're doing is recognizing that you can change things by having a sense of hope, or if you want to call it gratitude for your past, to look at everything, even the bad things, the things you think are just so horrible that there's no reason they should have ever occurred. Take a new look at that. Instead of locking it in as being such a horrible thing, imagine for a moment that it was there always for your best and highest good. That when you see the truth of it in the totality of your being, that there was nothing greater that could have ever occurred for you, and this was meant to be. That is a place of empowerment, and that's the way to hold the past, even transforming those regrets into jewels that are helping you to grow. The fourth thing is to be grateful, and that's something you can do in 2012. I just touched on it with letting go of regrets and then bring gratitude in. So this is kind of a 1-2 combo step. The first step is letting go of the regrets, and we were breathing to the core. When you exhale, you can actually let go of those regrets energetically, release them down to the center of the earth where she can recycle them. And then what you're doing is putting the gratitude back in. So this is pretty much a crash course in how to deal with these crazy energies of 2012. And I hope it's been useful to you. Until next time, I just want to remind you again to keep asking, how good can it get? And that is probably the best single question you can do to activate your own imagination, to touch into those imaginal realms, and to start working between your future and your past and guiding yourself forward in the best possible way. So until next time, this is Cynthia Sue Larson with RealityShifters.com.